What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. In this video today, I want to talk about a pretty big TSM update that I am actually personally very excited about, and I think a lot of other people should really be excited about too. Obviously TSM has had a weird 2022 so far. You know, the year started with Reggie talking about rebuilding for the future, figuring out some kind of long-term plan, whatever, and that long-term plan really looked like it was centered around Kaido, Shenny, and Kaido's gone, not even on the roster anymore, and Shenny may have just gotten benched and might not even be starting for TSM week 1 of the summer split, and obviously didn't even get to play a full split in the spring, so the whole future was kind of up in the air. You know, Kaido and Shenny didn't work out. Huni and Spica are both in the last split of their contracts. So that just leaves you with Tactical. And Tactical's good, don't get me wrong, but if that's the future you're building towards, you still have a lot of work to do if you want to build a top contending team. But fortunately for TSM, I think they made one really big pickup in this past offseason that I think everyone should be very excited about for the future. So this is obviously Anime Girl. If you guys don't know who that is, he is now known as TSM FTX Soul, as you can see on the screen. And the interesting thing here is Parth actually tweeted this April 6th of 2022. He said in reply to Anime Girl saying that he, was looking for a team, trying to get some academy offers, whatever. Parth actually said, this guy has a potential to be one of the best native tops in the LCS. In the LCS, this is a guy who was playing like academy, playing proving grounds, playing amateur, and now all of a sudden Parth is saying he can be one of the best tops in the LCS. Now, I will say I do think top lane is the weakest position in the LCS, most likely, probably the easiest position to break into. That he definitely has that going for him there, that, being one of the best native tops in the LCS isn't a super high bar. We have guys like Revenge in the LCS and Kumo and guys like that. You don't have to be insane as like a position like AD carry or jungle or something like that. You might have to be a little bit better, but this was pretty crazy. Obviously this really reads in two ways. One, you have like the scout master Parth memes where Parth just scouts everybody, which is kind of funny, but also on the other side you have people who really respect Parth's opinion, and potentially rightfully so. Obviously this guy has been around high level League of Legends for quite some time. He's brought up some players. He had some kind of hand in bringing up and Spica becoming what he is today. And he's also just been a general manager and coach and worked with a staff member, management member, whatever, for some of the best teams in LCS history. But I did think this was kind of interesting. Also, looking at Soul's post, again, dating back to April 6, 2022, he said, my first proving ground split has come to a close, and so has my contract with IMT AOE, which I believe is the IMT amateur team. He wasn't even playing academy, I don't think. I'm pretty sure he was playing amateur, one below. He said, I'm now looking for team, primarily looking for academy and LCS affiliate offers, but open to hearing all opportunities. Likes and retweets appreciated. And in his own post, he is saying that he was on the best performing amateur team in Proving Grounds. He also says he has a champion Ocean. Victories across 11 different champions throughout the spring split. Gwen, Camille, Gragas, Graves, Tom Kench, Akali, Ornn, Mundo, Malphite, Tryndamere, Renekton, some tanks, some carries, some AP, some AD, some range top laners, a little bit of everything there. And I noticed, from this list, it's even missing some normal staple champions like a Gnar or something like that I'm sure, he'd be easily able to plug and play on. It also has some weird picks that we didn't see of much in the LCS, to something like Dr. Mundo and stuff like that. So kind of interesting, and obviously really cool to see a player having success, but also playing a lot of different champions. Now, just because you can play a lot of different champions in amateur doesn't mean you're going to have a champion Ocean when you get to the LCS necessarily, but it's a start. I think he has something going for him there. He's also an NA resident, fluent in English and Mandarin. That's definitely something, obviously, that TSM would find very attractive. So yeah, he has a lot of things going for him. He is kind of relatively unknown. Again, you go into like the LOL fandom, and this guy doesn't even have a long history. It only goes back to June of 2021, just a single year ago, where he was playing for SV Champions for a couple months, Wildcard Gaming for 1 month, Immortals AOE for another month, and then all of a sudden he finds himself onto TSM Academy. Again, this is like a fast track track into TSM Academy. This is a pretty big deal, getting to play for TSM. Obviously, TSM Academy hasn't been necessarily one of the best Academy teams over the past couple of years, but they're still a team with a lot of resources, a lot of, money, funding. Playing for TSM Academy is a big deal, and most people, with this level of experience aren't finding their way onto TSM Academy. The big thing, obviously, being here that he is Canadian. Again, he is an NA resident. That is very, very big. And yeah, I mean, like I said, there's not a lot known about him. He has kind of a small social media presence, and he had just played a couple of splits, but people were very, very impressed. He played on a really good amateur team, and he stood out. He was very, very good, and that's what got people excited. That's what got him onto TSM Academy in the first place. But yeah, I don't even know how old he is. I was trying to find his age, that type of stuff. All I know is he is inexperienced, so hopefully with more competitive experience, he'll continue to get better and better and better. But the thing is, Academy has already started. Like I said, LCS starts this weekend, but Academy has already started. If we take a look at some of TSM's games, in week 1, TSM was playing against C9 Academy. Yes, C9 and their Academy team has had all sorts of issues. Darshan wasn't going to be playing for C9 Academy, but they were having Alorum sub in the top lane, and Alorum, he's not a world beater, but he's some kind of gatekeeper. He's a guy who's played in LCS games before. He's a guy who's won some LCS games before, and he's looked decent in some LCS games before, and he's looked pretty damn good in Academy and Amateur before. So, kind of a tough test. Obviously, a guy who I'm sure hasn't played a ton of scrims or been necessarily preparing or anything like that. But Soul, first game with TSM Academy, 5-1-5 on the Gangplank against the Lilia for Alorum, so a nice start. TSM gets a win. Soul's doing pretty good. Everything's going well. And then another win for TSM again. And in the second game, Soul drops a 7-0-7 on Camille. So again, 2 games, 2 unique champions, 2 wins, undefeated, and 2 wins against Alorum, which again is no slouch in the top lane. TSM Academy's next series would be against Dignitas Academy. This series would be a little bit rougher for Soul and Dignitas Academy. Soul would go 1-6-10 on Ornn against Camille. Tony Top getting the best of him in this one. And then in game 2, TSM drops again with Soul going 0-3-1. But again, still 4 unique champions through 4 games. 2-2, Soul with 2 really strong games, 2, not so strong games, but hey, when TSM won, he looked good. When TSM lost, he looked bad. It's a team game at the end of the day. It can be hard to stand out, when your team is behind or losing or whatever sometimes, but still, I think there was some promise, some talent, some potential there for Soul, some good things that he showed. And then, in the other games that they did play against FlyQuest Academy, they did lose this game. And Soul went 5-2-6 on Vladimir, obviously having a very, very strong Vladimir game. Vladimir definitely, does well into GP, but still, I think this was one of his more promising games because this was him performing well, putting up a good stat line, having a good game in a TSM loss. It's easy to look good in the wins. It's easy, and you have an excuse to do bad in the losses. But to stand out in a loss was a very, very good sign. And then TSM Academy and Soul would bounce back in the last game against FlyQuest, where for the first time Soul was not playing a unique champion, pulling out another Gangplank game where he went 9-1-8 and TSM Academy was able to get the win. So 6 games into the Academy season, I believe they have now played at TSM sitting at 3-3. Soul with some really, really good games, doing some really exciting things. And I think this is awesome news for TSM. Again, I have not been a huge fan of Huni, and again, he is in the last split of his contract. I don't think TSM is going to be re-signing Huni. I don't think TSM should re-sign Huni. I don't know what's going to happen with Spica. I don't know if he's going to leave. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with Shenny, Mia? It seems like Tactical's here to stay. I don't know what's going on, but I do think that anime girl, Soul, whatever you want to call him, seems like he is, we still have a lot of League of Legends left to play in the summer, but it seems like he might be on his way to being the top laner of the future for TSM. It seems like they might have found a really, really nice player to build around in Academy, which TSM has not had for quite some time, a legitimate prospect to be excited about. And it seems like they might have that. And again, if I'm a TSM fan right now, I'm excited. I'm tuning in and seeing what Soul's going to do in Academy, and I'm getting an early look on what might be the starting top laner for TSM into 2023. Again, he's a resident. He's going to be cheap. We know Reggie and TSM are trying to save money, and he might end up being pretty damn good. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so, so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about Soul. And, we'll see what happens from there. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.